You can hear us wherever you want to. You can hear us online. You can hear us with a podcast, wherever you want to listen. And thank you very much for doing so. 210-599-5555. Here on KTSA all day, you hear a great, and I say that during his commercials, but he didn't pay me to say that. I say it because it's true, great man. And I appreciate his sponsorship and our business, doing business together, because it's people like him that make this thing go. And he does so much in our community beyond helping people medically and dentally, and we talk about his implants at River City OMS, Dr. Mark Haverkorn. He is so involved in the life of young folk all in our area with the Ware County Junior Livestock Show. He is the second VP over there. He's a doctor on the arena floor for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and that's why I'm having him on right now. And the agricultural mechanics project leader for the Helotes 4-H clubs. He's a director in the Helotes Ag Booster Club and a member of the Southwest Belted Galloway Cattle Association. So this is his life. And I've been around the rodeo since Joe and Harry Freeman days, and all the great people, Marion Ann West and all them throughout the years at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and they've all passed on. But the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo has a purpose, and Dr. Mark Haverkorn knows a lot about the purpose concerning the Stock Show and Rodeo and the Ware County Junior Livestock Show. They're not the same thing, but I wanted to have him on this morning to talk a little bit about that. So, Dr. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Trey. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure, my honor. So let's talk about the differences between the two, the Ware County Junior Livestock Show and the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
Well, the Ware County Show is our local show for our county kids. And each of the surrounding counties have their shows as well, and most of the counties in Texas have a show. And only the county kids, at least in our county, can show at our show. And for many kids, that is the final show. That's the goal of their season, and maybe the only show that they go to. And so that's why my wife and I just kind of got involved there. I love the major shows. I think that's super great. And one of my daughters is going to go to San Antonio this year for the first time for our family, but not every family can do that. So the county show is an opportunity for every kid in ag from all the districts and all the areas of the county. And we really have kids from every part of the county at the county show. And then the San Antonio show is a great show, gives away lots of scholarship money, helps lots of kids, far more than our county show can do. But it's open to the entire state. So that's the difference.
And so when is the county show? When does that happen?
The county show is typically the week between Christmas and New Year's. Is historically, for the last several years, that's when we've had that show. And then we have an auction a week later, which is usually the first weekend in January.
Okay. I want everybody to know about that because of next year. I want them to know so they can get involved. And in just a minute, I'm going to get you to give some contact info so people can get involved if they choose to do so, because so many kids they work so hard at this. I mean, their entire life. This is what they do. Now, I was like you. Later in life, I got into the farm and ranch business. It's a lot of hard work. I never competed like these kiddos do and like your daughter's doing and others are doing. That's even harder. It takes a lot to do this.
Yes, these are, depending on the project, some of these are over a year long, where these kids are working with these animals. They're out there at least twice a day and oftentimes more. I saw the girl that won the Grand Champion steer up at the Fort Worth show just here a couple of weeks ago. As a freshman in high school, said she spent hours every day last summer in the barn working on that animal, and it paid off big time for her. Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's talk about San Antonio. Since you're a doctor on the scene there, San Antonio does a great job every year and has now. I don't know how long it's been around, how many rodeos we've had so far here, but it's been so many. And I can't tell you how many, maybe you know the number, how many millions of dollars have gone to scholarships for these kiddos.
Oh, yeah, it's well into the tens of millions now. And I've known several of the scholarship winners personally, and it's just fantastic. The kids are excited, and it's not just a financial reward. It's just exciting for them to win at such a big level.
Well, and to be a part of this, right? Because it's something they're around all the time. They typically grow up in the middle of all this, right?
Yes. Right. Yeah. So For people who don't know, you can join 4-H. You can start competing in 4-H as a third grader, and younger kids can join. They just don't really get to participate in the contests. But my kids started one of them was 5 years old, showing a belted Galloway bull in Waco at the Hot Show.
Wow.
So yeah, that bull was taller than her, and she had to hold her hand up as high as she could to get his head up.
That's great.
Yeah. But and I know lots of families are into all kinds of activities with the kids, but the ag stuff is, the best description I saw was when you go to a sports game, you're just a spectator and you're cheering for your kid and you're excited. But with the ag stuff, you're there beside your kid in the barn, teaching them, showing them, working with them. That's probably the difference.
Isn't that cool? So for those who don't have property and don't have livestock, there's got to be a way for them to get in too, right? I mean, kiddos that parents want to get involved in this, and they don't have property, they don't have livestock, they don't have a ranch or whatever. So how do they get involved?
Well, there's a few ways. You can raise some of the smaller projects, so you can do the poultry and you can do the rabbits. A lot of times, in fact, most people just do that at their home in a regular neighborhood. They're not on acreage. Cool. You don't need a lot of space for that. And then at the FFA level, the high school level, several of our local high schools have barn space at the school. So those kids raise their animals right there at the school. And then you can also just find people that are willing to let you use their land. I've got a couple of kids that keep animals at our land. And there are even charities around that allow kids to, 10 or 12 or 15 kids to use a barn. So it's there. I think the best way to figure that out if you're interested and you don't have land is to go to the Bexar County Ag Extension Office, look for your local 4-H club, and then contact that 4-H club, and they can guide you if you really want to get into it.
There you go. That's how you do it. Get in touch with the local 4-H club. And I'll see you at the rodeo, my friend, and thank you very much for your time this morning. I appreciate all that you do.
Oh, thank you so much, Trey. I'll see you there.
Okay. Have a great weekend. Dr. Mark Haverkorn, of course, from River City OMS. He's just a great guy, great doctor. We talk about him here on the radio station, but also helping these kids out through livestock. What an awesome thing to do. And you can get involved in doing it. And if you have any interest, contact your local 4-H and they can help you out.